Welcome back to Channel 5 News at noon. Your time is 12:25. We're tracking the heat and some rain, but let's start with a look at the temperatures across the valley. Mainly in the mid to lower 90s, with the exception of Brownsville checking in at 80 degrees. So that tells us there's been a decent amount of cloud cover there and also some rain to cool things off. And that's exactly what the case has been so far today. The Doppler network showing over the past 2 hours those showers kind of forming and then popping up in the lower valley, especially down the I-69E corridor through just south of Harlingen near San Benito, Los Fresnos, and down into Brownsville. So let's zoom into that activity, and you can see that just outside of Los Fresnos, a little cell is firing up there, producing some moderate to heavy rain as it passes by. It is moving to the west-northwest, relatively slow, so it could produce a little bit of rain out there on the roadways to make a slick commute for you, but it should clear out fairly quickly over the next 20 to 30 minutes. Now, meanwhile, Future Track indicates that we'll see a few more develop this afternoon. I don't think it's going to be as widespread as what this model is showing, but the potential for a shower or thunderstorm to develop and produce a pocket or two of heavy rain is possible in the second half of the afternoon and then clearing out by the early evening. Now, as far as temperatures go, for today, we're going to stay in the upper 90s, even though we do have that cloud cover out there. It'll still feel like the triple digits because of all that lower level moisture that we still have to take into consideration. So that's pretty much the same scenario for tomorrow, much like today, just kind of a repeat. By Thursday, things start to change. It gets a little bit interesting. 95 degrees there, and we're tracking increasing rain. So let me show you with a look at what's happening in the tropics right now. We have this area. This is the remnants of Harvey, and it's situated over the Yucatan. The thing about it is over the next 5 days or so, which I think could happen in the next 48 hours, is that it could develop into a tropical system as it makes its way over the open waters of the Bay of Campeche. The water vapor imagery really shows this really well. Though all of the moisture that you see is in the blue, and that's from that system, but notice it's kind of hitting that wall of dry air. All of that is from La Canícula, so we do have a decent amount of dry air kind of inhibiting that growth, at least for the next 24 hours. After that, once this moves over the open waters of the Bay of Campeche, that's where things get a little interesting. So we're going to put a few spaghetti models here on the map just to give you an idea, because we're watching all possibilities, and until this system becomes a little bit more organized over the bay, we're kind of keeping a broad consensus as to where this thing is headed. So a lot of the models just last night had everything to our south, and now look at it. A lot of it is trending a little bit farther east, kind of staying a little bit offshore here from the valley, and then some of them are taking it away into Houston. So this is something that we really have to look at very carefully over the next couple of days. I don't want to alarm you, but rather kind of inform you as to the impacts that it could have. So let's look at one model per se. This is the GFS model, okay? This upper level high pressure system will kind of back off a little bit, and then here comes some potential as we head into Thursday and Friday. That's when the timing of these bands of heavy rain are expected. Now watch this. It keeps the center offshore from the valley and then kind of making landfall a little bit farther to the north. Whether it'll be a tropical storm or a hurricane, that's one thing that we will be watching. The thing about it is, what we will see for sure are increasing rain chances. So as we look ahead, rain picks up Thursday going into Friday. This is when the majority of the impacts will be felt. And isolated areas could be getting some heavy rain at times, and that is especially for the lower valley and closer to the coast. Mid-valley, you'll see a decent amount, maybe an inch or so, maybe a half inch of rain. Going into the upper valley, a little less than that. So this is going to be mainly a mid to lower valley type of impact in terms of the heavy rain. Now, another thing that we can also expect are the coastal water impacts, and we'll have possibly some high surf and some rough conditions, maybe even a little wash up into the dunes can be expected, and of course hazardous conditions for boaters with all of that heavy rain passing by as well, making it pretty hazardous out there. So these are the impacts that we're watching for right now, and again, that's Thursday going into Friday, and then eventually we're tapering off those rain chances as we head into the weekend. So here's your first 7-day forecast. We'll stay at 98 degrees today and tomorrow with just an isolated shower or two possible. Keep in mind that because it is increasing tropical moisture, there could be pockets of heavy rain at any given time. Notice that as we increase your rain chances Thursday, more rain, especially in the overnight hours going into Friday, your temperatures will slightly take a dip there. By Thursday, we're at 95. Friday, With the cloud cover and the heavy rain potential, we could stay in the upper 80s or low 90s. This is going to be something that we'll be watching, and it will probably change over the next 24 to 48 hours. As we head into Saturday, still cloudy near 90 with some spotty showers or thunderstorms. We're going to dial back on those rain chances as we head into next week, with only 30% of the valley actually getting the rain early next week. So we're calling for a high temperature of 94. Your overnight lows will stay right around 76 and 77 degrees for the next 7 nights. And that's your updated First Warn 5 forecast. Don't go away. Channel 5 News at noon. We'll be right back.